So the problem with all the technical, super technical folks are they're very humble.
You need to start with AI engines, at least with Claude, because Claude is applied everywhere. They asked me if we can apply AI, and I said no.
New fluff in the market, whether it's Copilot, whether it's AI, Claude. How can we use AI but also understand the human question behind it?
Microsoft declined at time, so I said okay, so maybe it's not for me.
Hey, hi, welcome to Dynamics Monk podcast Debug with the Monk. And today we have Lukas, a very special guest who is an MVP and have been working on Power Platform. And very interesting, he has created a tool which integrates Figma with Power Apps. So let's dive a little deeper. What does that entail? And we'll cover a lot of fun stuff. Hey, Lukas, thank you so much for coming to the podcast and sharing some time. How has been your journey with Power Apps? Can you just give us some sort of a glimpse around that?
Yeah, thank you very much to be here. Thank you for inviting. And I started 6 years ago with playing with the Power Apps because my career started as a Java developer 20 years ago. So after that, I said it's so boring and I need to go to other side to the management. And when I started in the management, I said, okay, this is not for me because it's only boring and you have to do a lot of manual works. So therefore, I just met Microsoft Power Apps and Power Automate, and I started to make my daily work very easy with the automation and created some small application in Power Apps. So, and after that, my wife just showed me Figma and how beautiful it could be because previously the Microsoft did not very beautiful application in Power Apps. So therefore, I decided to create a new tool in Figma combination with the Power App.
Is it the Power Portals that made you thought about Figma integration, or is it Canvas app? Exactly what? Because model-driven app, you really have very limited say on how you modify the UI.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. So therefore, I started with the model driven and I said, so sorry, I do not understand at the beginning, but now it's much more better and better for making this model driven application. But still, as you mentioned, it's limited for the UI and I need a space to just visualize what I'm currently thinking about and to have a freedom with this UI. So therefore, I started to create for the companies applications for the vacations, for the approval processes, documentation, and this is currently we are working with the perfect UI.
Okay, all right. So let's dive little deeper on the tool that you have created. But before I go there, I would like to understand your MVP journey. Could you walk us through what does it entail? When did you become MVP? Or even better, when did you decide to become an MVP?
Yeah, so it was like I met a great person, Marcel, who is doing a lot of LinkedIn and social media. And I met him and we started to talk each other. And he just said to his friends that he can nominate me as a Power Apps MVP because the people of Czechia tried to nominate me and, Microsoft declined it the first time. So I said, okay, so maybe it's not for me. But he did it again. And after close to 1 year, that in the last year in 2025, I tried again because he nominated me. And Microsoft approved my MVP, and I had a lot of blogs and be part of some conferences. So therefore, this was started with my MVP journey.
Interesting. So I'm a very huge fan of vampire folklore. So is it like one vampire creates another vampire? Is it like one MVP creates another MVP? Is it? Yeah. Okay.
This is the great that you can nominate when you are MVP. You can nominate other person who is doing really great job and who it's really provides a lot of stuff for the community and just increase the information and sharing the great tips because there are a lot of experienced people around us.
Okay. So tell us, what does that entails? Like, how does your day looks like from maintaining the MVP status? So one thing is, of course, MVP is a very prestigious title, of course, right? But it is not just a title for flamboyancy. It is more helping community, helping people around it, propagating Microsoft stack to different audiences, helping the peers out, right? So it definitely tend to take a lot of efforts in terms of maintaining it. So just walk us through your day, like how do you practice the thing?
Yeah, I have a job, so therefore I need to at first take care of my daily work. But the great thing on MVPs is that you meet a lot of great people on the Microsoft community, and there are a lot of interesting sessions which are like mostly like daily or weekly, and you can connect the different interested what you are regarding Microsoft products like Excel, Copilot, Power Apps. So there are a lot of perfect events, and every year is a summit for MVPs. Therefore, this is really interesting summit where you can know what will come in the close future. Of course, everything is under NDA, so you cannot share it
Yeah, yeah,
everybody want. But
yeah.
this is really great that you will see and you can change the scope or the products. You can just put your hand and develop production the development team for particular Microsoft products, and you can help them. So this is really great community which you can affect each other and meet in some different conferences or workshops, online sessions, and other. So my daily work is typically after my job. I time to time connect these events by Microsoft, try to share my knowledge if I can, and then we return back to my daily work.
The problem with all the technical, super technical folks are they're very humble. But I think I'm quite sure that there is a lot of persistence that is required in terms of maintaining, going to events, talking about it, or participating in the community. So kudos to you, Lucas. You have achieved it at a very early stage, and I'm sure that we are going to see you MVP continuously, because I have been meeting people who have been MVP continuously for last 13 years, right? So they have a different stack altogether. I don't know how they do it, but I think they have a knack and passion about it. So okay, now since we have the MVP out of the picture, how do you maintain the status, etc.? We talk about MyCondi, right? Why did you set up MyCondi? When did you set up?
Yeah, this is like we started 4 years ago with my wife. So we started to create. It was before MyCondi. This is abbreviation of continuous delivery. This is the MyCondi. So before that was a chatbot, and when the framework was out of scope and does not exist in this Java environment. So we said, okay, we will use this Condi, put the favorite prefix my, and then we started to help companies to automate and make some RPAs with the robots, and started to create some beautiful designs in Figma. And we just combined together in all. And now we are mostly like 5 years on the market, and we still have interesting customer and interesting cases.
Oh, okay. How is your customer list? Like, what kind of customers? Which segment are they? Are they in micro, small, medium enterprise, or bigger enterprises?
It depends. My first customer was Microsoft. it was it was great. And mostly are the small companies or the medium from the completely different segments. So because mostly I'm creating, which is very popular, is for the vacation. So the people wants to have, instead of tickets or Excel file with the vacations, then they are creating Power Apps where they can automatically approve the process for the vacations.
All right. It's just like leave management workflow, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
correct.
Now, with specifically Anthropic coming with a lot of interesting model in Claude, right? There are a lot of automation that is happening there, right? And in fact, I'm sure that you have already looked at Power Apps Y coding feature that has come up within the Power Platform, right? Where does that leaves you in terms of the tool that you have created? Do you feel that, and I was reading that you are committing in terms of integrating Claude with your tool as well, right, in the coming days. So what does that entail? Let's talk about something around that.
Yeah, so I've decided to create a brother of Power Apps for Figma to have a web page where will be based on the code apps with the combination of Claude, because I started 1.5 months ago with the Claude and learning our courses. So therefore, currently I'm preparing like test-driven development instead of physical tester to have AI tester. And after that, I would like to have more AI employees. So therefore, I will start very soon in Prague to train people how they can use the Claude, how they can compare it with the Copilot and Claude, and how can they use in daily work. Because, for example, for my wife, we are using Claude to generate texts for the social medias, to generate some strategies, how we can post our content and how we can mix it together.
Interesting. Let's talk about little bit about AI agents, right? Now Microsoft is very pro agentic world, right? And I was reading news or a research from Gartner and others, wherein that there is almost like 80% clients, top-notch clients are actually moving toward agentic AIs, but the 11% or 15% use cases are proven. So there is a huge gap in between actual output being generated through agentic AI. What have you seen in the market, like specifically in Prague or Czechia? Do we have a real use case for agentic AIs at this point in time? Or
Yeah,
and if yes, then give examples.
yesterday I was in some business for breakfast where people around Prague just met together and introduced their work, something like, social networking. And they presented AI that currently the fancy stuff is starting to create AI employee. So instead of like typical daily manual work, so which is not saying that they will replace us. No, because I tested in many cases the AI and it's really not working for the enterprise application. So this is not really good. And when you start using this AI, you are losing the controls for example, for your code. So therefore, you must be very specific in which case you want to use it. And here in Czechia is mostly are using, try to investigate the marketing, try to replace when you're making the reports in Excel and sharing and sending. So this is like the basic boring stuff that they are starting to use it and, saving the cost. But the replacement of all works, no, I would say will not be the strategy here.
This is very interesting conversation, Lucas. So why I say it is interesting is, of course, there is a lot of automation that we can do using agentic AIs, right? Or agents. But whether it is going to give cost optimization is something that we need to assess. But primarily, are there any sort of industry vertical AI agents that you're working on that can be lifted and shifted to a specific organization, say healthcare or retail or something on that sort? Is there any such revolution that is happening in your geo or something on that sort?
I really do not know what currently in the details because, as I mentioned, so yesterday it was like my surprise what currently is here and in Prague, and people started to offer like we will apply AI agent to your company in 7 days and like that. These courses. So they started a lot of courses here about the AI agents, but I would say, and we are middle of the Europe, but we are very slowly with the news and just change to new technologies because, we have 20 years old systems, for example, and we cannot use it in hard factories because this is very old system in bank systems. So they are very, very old system and cannot be replaced like agents because they are sensitive data and you cannot change everything.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And a lot of people, like for example in Gulf or in the banking sector, people are still very pro on-premise systems. So where does that leave agentic AIs in those environments?
This is a good question. But a couple of days ago, I had a project where I needed to update the robot for the bank company. And, it was not in good shape. But they asked me if we can apply AI. And I said, nope, because there is very specific tools which banking system are using. This is very, very, very old systems with a lot of fields and checkbox and a lot of tabs. So there is not possible like very easily to apply AI agent. And if yes, then must be for sure some offline, because if something will be connected to the internet and will be sent to agent, will be shared in cloud, then of course somebody can hack it, just take this sensitive data. So I would say in banking system there are possibility to automate and robotize because this is the great cases, but for the AI agent I still do not believe this is very secure.
So I would love to add some more questions around it, but I really want to go back again to the plugin that you created. This is a very classic problem that we start a solution or an IP, and then at certain point in time it loses thrust. You have been working 3.5 years on this. So what has been the lowest moment while creating and maintaining this IP?
When I started mostly like 3.5 years ago with this plugin, then it was great because I very easily people to export from their custom designs to Power Apps and vice versa back to Figma. But for now, during one night, everything changed thanks to Claude and AI. And I need to follow the same strategy. I need to update very faster. So for example, I started to use the vibe coding every day, and instead of 1 month version, then in 2 days I created the content for the new release. So it means that next week I will apply a new version, and this is very key for now, the speed. And if you follow the same strategy and apply agents or you will use the prompts and vibe coding, then you can really speed up your scope and can just follow the update. But still, I'm believing that the features what I'm included there are still usable for the people, because people can easily change one design to another style, create a component with the different projects and use it for the different projects, because that this is not only about one style and one project. You need to repeat your design system for next and next projects. So therefore, I'm still believe that this is the key, which is still usable. But I started to apply some AI in my plugin because the community wants to have it, this AI.
So yes, let's talk about this, right? You are working on bringing AI skills, right, into the workflow that you have designed to Power Apps, right? What are the different problem statements you think that it is going to solve that plugin was not able to solve it?
I'm just thinking.
No worries. I don't want to put you on spot, but I'm assuming that prompt based is it like Figma itself, Figma creation itself would be prompting based, or and then that gets integrated with your plugin, or
Yeah, you can combine it, because a few days ago they released AI chat beta version instead of alpha. It's starting to be usable from Figma. But I'm still just, my plugin is creating all in one. I'm trying to use the design tokens. I'm trying to use AI prompts. Okay, it's in my plugin, it's alpha. In every application, you cost the tokens, and you need to spend your money for the tokens here in Claude, tokens here in Figma, and you will pay monthly very huge budget. So therefore, I'm trying to collect it in once, everything in one plugin, and try to help them with this prompts or just clicking on some specific features which they can have the output what they want to have it. But Figma, it's for me, it's a very great tool, because the Figma Make helps you to really create interesting designs for the web, for the mobile, for the tablet application. I tried the different cases, and Google Stitch, it's still not usable, because I tried to create design system and it was very awful. So therefore it's great, and thank you the MCP servers, where you can specify and connect very easily between the different tools. So you can combine all tools together and create the interesting Power applications.
let's talk about Power Pages a little bit, right? Your plugin also creates Power Pages, whether liquid templates. No, it does.
I'm
Okay.
just thinking about that one, because I started new plugin for Power BI, which is currently in first version, and I will try to put more and more Power M queries to help Power BI people. This plugin is completely for free, and I'm waiting from the audience that will help me to improve this plugin, because it should be usable and very great for their daily work to create this data flows in Power BI. So therefore, if the people will reply me and help me what I can develop for them, then of course will be great the plugin. And another thing, I tried to think a little about the Power Pages and Power Automate, but for now the Power Automate can create easily thanks to MCP and other technologies. So therefore, I'm still thinking if it will be suitable for the people or not. So therefore, I did not decide.
Yeah, no worries. I think one of the requirements that we used to get from our customers is to increase or improve the overall life cycle of Power Pages, right? Now, there are two school of thoughts that are there right now. One is you have Power Pages and then you have that entire ecosystem in Power Apps, or you take an open stack like React and then you connect it with Dataverse, right? So this is a debate that goes on either side. There is no winning in this debate, right? There is a licensing structure that is involved, etc. But one classic use case, I think, what do you think about a use case where client has to expose their Power Pages to the end clients, right? And then they come up with there's some sort of a prompt. They say, okay, I want to create a self-service Power Portal, and then I come in and I put my SOW requirements in your tool. It generates a Figma, and then it internally creates some sort of liquid templates which connects. I think that will be a fantastic use case altogether.
If you provide me some use cases, I can start to create the synergy between the different tools. And yet this is when I was a speaker on some conference, they asked me, will you create for the Power Pages some plugin? And I said, yeah, I will think about that, because I tried it, I would say 2 or 3 months ago, and it was not interesting for me because the templates in Power Pages was so boring. But I know that they are improving every time this the Power Pages, and they will provide new versions where will be interesting for the companies which they are using the Power Pages. But for now, I would say if the same was like Elementor, if you know about this Elementor, there was from the WordPress, you had possibility to create a template from the HTML in Figma, redesign it, and put back through the Elementor to your server. Now, because I'm using Figma sites and I'm not using WordPress anymore and Elementor, so therefore for me it's easy that I can stay in the Figma, create template, and in one click upload to my domain. And I would say if will be something similar for the Power Pages, that you will create the template in the Figma, and through the back CLI or something, you will just connect to your Power Pages and in one click upload it. And you can easily, your design team just updates in some design system in Figma and press, and will be automatically in your Power Pages. I would say will be interesting for the companies.
Amazing. I think I'd love to collaborate on that, Lucas, post this. Let me take a fun question right now. I don't know how fun is it going to be. So working with your partner, with your spouse in this entrepreneurship journey for the last 5 years, how has the journey been with your partner? You did mention, right, that you're working with your wife last 5 years. So how has been that professional journey with this spouse?
We are working together every day. so this is the best marriage and okay, it's my first marriage, so therefore we have completely the same synergy. We are just pushing each other to the forward, and if I miss something, she will just finish it, and vice versa. So this is a crazy synergy between us.
I'm pretty sure. I think you have been persistent, so there has been a lot of support that you have got from your wife. 5 years from now, do you think Power Apps development will still be valid for junior resources?
Yeah. Because as Lau mentioned, so we currently have Canvas, we have model driven, we have Vibe apps, code apps, and they will stay in the community, and it's up to you what you will use. So therefore, this is like the great case, because a couple of weeks ago they asked me to create Canvas applications. So I guess I was scared when they created the code apps and Vibe apps, and I said, okay, I hope so that the Canvas, they will stay and they will put the money for that one. And they said, yeah, we will follow and we will update our tools and will be there. So this is like positive for me, that I cannot just move to trash my plugin. So therefore I'm very happy that they are still extending all versions of Power Apps, and they will be there.
I think that's fair ask. With the advent of automation that is coming in with AI, let's say for example vibe coding, right? Few years back, you have to go through the requirements and the user stories. Then you have to put a design, technical design, whether you will do it in plugin, whether you will do it in Power Automate, whether you do it with something else, and then you get an approval on that design, and then you start building it, right? Now the momentum has shifted altogether. So all you do is you come in fact, the user stories are being generated by ChatGPT or Claude, right? And they are, and to my surprise, they are actually quite accurate to the extent that really helps you in terms of what you want to build as a finished product, right? In that scenario where Microsoft itself is introducing a lot of AI automation tools like vibe coding, right? The classic way of doing development has shifted pretty much, right? So the new resources who are coming into the market and who wants to learn Power Platform, right? What will your advice be for those resources?
The reality in companies where which they are using very old systems, they are still using these steps. They are creating Jira tasks, they are creating stories and other things because they cannot switch it from one night or from 1 week. It's a very complicated systems. But the same like in a COVID time, they had to create some tools when they can be manipulated from home and just put some architects or analytics which are working from home to the systems. And this will be the same here. It must be updated, your daily boring stuff. So therefore, if companies will start to use the AI, at first must be questioned what this will bring up. So it's not about if they will say because everybody is using, something is wrong. They must understand what the power is, but what the security is and what is the dangerous part for them. So therefore, if they need to just summarize what will be for the company, what needs to be updated, and not like firing the employees, which is again the worst case. So therefore, they need to start understand the step by step for their systems and their customers. And of course, if there is some sensitive data, they just be very careful to starting using this AI agent.
Absolutely, but my add-on query is like for the new resources who are coming into the market, right? The ones who are fresh out of college or maybe have a year experience, right? Once they come into the ecosystem, now earlier it used to be like where you have a managed services project where you're supporting customer, or a delivery project where you are shielded by a lot of senior people, and then you come in, you learn, you put the hard yards in, and then you do the development, right? But with the advent of vibe coding that is coming in, the tedious task like creating a field, creating a view, creating a form, right? Like these basic things are already being taken care by AI, right? Now, to your point, where the bigger enterprises have clunky systems which are complex in nature, where maybe AI cannot be introduced straight away, right? Or maybe it can be introduced in portions, right? But those companies, anyways, don't give their complex systems to the new freshers because it's very difficult to decode, right? Or debug. So, in that scenario, where do you see or what is the pathway for these guys to come in and create their own charter out there?
Yeah, so if they're like new on the market and coming from the college, then of course, when I started a lot of years ago, I worked with people from the college and I learned them. If you want to be ready for the crazy system in IT, at first start to learn what is agile, what is everything related to the processes, because nobody will tell you that this is what it's about. On college, you will not learn. So therefore, for now, the same. If you want to go to real practice, you need to start with AI engines, at least with Claude, because Claude is applied everywhere, and try to understand what is the currently the people are working in the companies and try to find the improvement, because if you find the improvement, then you will be a hero in the company. And as I mentioned, so currently I'm trying to apply for the testing, coding, and for the debugging and everything, because when you learn AI agent the skill, AI agent will learn it and know what to do in the specific cases. So if people from the college will start to learn how to put skills, that doesn't matter which AI agent, and how to apply it, how to make perfect prompt and very detailed prompt, and use some strategies for the RAG, search, caching, and other stuff, So then will be a winner for today's, and every company will hire the person.
Just to summarize, what I gathered from what you gave was that you first of all decode the processes, IT processes, because you get very little or limited knowledge in college, right, or the practical knowledge in college, right, and then try to understand the pain points in an organization while you're entering, and then figure out what you can do to solve them. It doesn't matter whether it is a technology specific, or it is you be agnostic, you figure out that and put hard yards in, right? All right, point noted. I think that's a very fair thing, and to the audience, I'm sure that if they want to really move forward, I think that's a very key piece of advice. All right, so Lucas, what is next release that we are going to see in MyCondi in your Figma tool?
I have 3 projects. The first one will be for this plugin next week, when I will present the tokens to specify your typography, paddings, and parsing your translated screens. So this is like for the Power Apps. The next thing, I will plan live event for MyBot admin, which is based on the Telegram, and you can create bot in your online courses. So it means that you can monetize your online courses as a creator. And the third thing, what currently I'm just preparing, is the code apps combined with the AI voice agent. So it means that you will say what you want to create in your design, and the voice agent will transfer it in the code apps to the Canvas application, could be control or screen, and then create YAML code for you, and you can easily copy paste it.
Super exciting features coming up, Lucas, and I will specifically be very hooked to the voice bot thing. And before we move to the rapid fire, this is my potentially last question, Lucas, is if your plugin could talk, what complaint would it make about how most people use it?
Well, honestly, I do not know, because I don't have any feedback. I asked community many times, please give me feedback, and it's a very quiet community. I'm talking with myself.
Yeah. Maybe just add a mandatory button. You will not be able to submit unless you share your feedback. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it has been very interesting, Lucas. I wish you all the best in the plugin that you're developing. And then I think there is a lot of collaboration that we can do off this podcast around extending the plugin, because I see a variety of use cases. Which brings me to the rapid fire round. The format is very straightforward. I'm going to ask you a few questions. You have to reply in a single liner answer, and then we move on. There are some fun ones as well, right? So
Okay.
here we start, right? Beautiful app or functional app? If you could have only one, which one will you have?
Beautiful.
I'm sure, the tool that you have created really, really describe the same nature. The worst enterprise app UI you have ever seen, and what made it so bad?
Currently, I do not remember.
Model-driven app? I don't know.
I so very, very ugly Canvas applications. So
Let me give you my 2 cents there. So the FNO app that Microsoft has, it's super functional, but its UI is really clunky. So it is very old way of doing it. I'm sure Microsoft will hear this and then maybe improvise the UI. Next one is one Figma feature that Power Apps developers should learn immediately.
Figma Make, for sure.
Sorry, which one?
Figma Make.
Figma. Okay. All right. One Power Apps feature that Figma designers do not know exist.
You just give me very hard questions. Yeah.
It was supposed to be rapid fire, but anyways, we'll skip that. So last one, then I'll switch the question. Which is the one thing you wish Microsoft would add to Canvas app right now?
For sure, drag and drop. I mean, the drag and drop control, because without that one, I'm very blind, and I have to install some custom components which able to drag and drop, where some developer put it there, or upload media. This is very ugly, because I'm very beautiful application for one company. And when I want to upload some attachment, this is very often there, and it's not great.
Definitely improvement. I think we close the rapid fire, but this brings me an interesting thought, right? I was reading somewhere that, Canvas app is dead, right? I don't know whether you have read that article or not, but it says that, there's not a lot of automation that Microsoft is bringing in within the Canvas app structure, given that there is this Power Apps or code apps that has come up, where you have React based apps that you can spin up, and that is all prompt based, right? So there has been a different school of thoughts. There were pro against Canvas app, there were pro which was for Canvas app. What is your thought process around it, being a very neutral from a neutral vantage point?
Yeah. So if I just use the model driven or code apps, I will for sure use code apps, because if you want to create very own specific project with a beautiful application, because React is doing very great possibility in the UI. So, but really it depends. If you want to, you do not have too much developers and you want to create something, then for sure Vibe Apps is for you, because you just write a prompt and you will have the application. But if you have some developers in your company which can create custom application, then for sure Code Apps is the best solution. But if you have on like the for the mobile, or to have in a tablet and just click one thing and just send a report, why not to use Canvas application? So
Mm.
for all applications make sense, but it's really up to company which will follow. And my lover is a Canvas, because I can create everywhere and I can use it. But yeah, I really understand this four applications is important for the different cases.
All right. On that note, I think that has been very brilliant conversation, Lucas. Thank you so much for your time. We really wish you all the best for the future updates of your plugin. In fact, we will try to roll that out in our organization, Dynamics Monk, and try to collaborate further. Thank you so much. You have been a very nice guest on the show, and talk to you very soon.
Thank you very much, and you was a very great speaker and just facilitator of this podcast.